So we are 4-1 right now, which is fucking beautiful. No bullshit. Now, again, the process is still the same. The process always remains the process. Mark your zones after you win. Remark your zones because you don't want to get stuck in this thing of where like you're looking at the same thing, like you're looking at. I want. Here's the best way that I approach it. After I win a trade, I'm basically looking at old news. I'm looking at a mummy, right? A mummy is preserved, right? You are preserved in an ancient time, and you are able to look at a body, right? You're able to look at where things used to be, etc., so forth. But what's the thing about a mummy? It's dead, so it's not alive. It's not current, right? So you don't want to get caught in a situation to where you're looking at a dead market, and the dead market is what used to be. Market changes all the time, higher highs, higher lows all the time. So, or lower lows, lower highs all the time. So you don't want to get stuck in that. So it's always good to, after you win, just race the board. Simple as that. Don't worry about it. Yes, I am remarking stuff, but again, you want to know where things are officially now, because things have changed since then. Like for instance, in this zone, right? 1 touch, 3 touches. So now we know that this is a valid support. This is a very valid support. This area right here. So if price needs to go collect some money, it's either going to come either what? Down here or down here. And we have a new indication as well, because we have our first indication, correction, continuation. Now we have a new indication on top of that. We are now in officially a buyer's market. So now we are looking for buys again, unless what? Price comes through and breaks this low. Currently, it is at this level of getting ready to break this lower high that was established on Friday, and here we are on Thursday. So let's see what price does on the 1 hour. Let's go. Move my record out the way. All right, cool. So now price has what? Begin to form a resistance at this level, which is what? It makes sense because what was here earlier. Okay, hopefully, if you're watching this video for the first time, hopefully this has been amusing, but also hopefully you're able to start to catch on. Like, okay, cool. Price literally does the same shit over and over again. Yes, you are correct. It literally does that. It's just a matter of having patience and timing. All right, what did I just say? If price is going to correct, where's it going to come to go get more buyers? Either right here or right here. Look at where that candle just put you. All right. And what we got? Boom. So now it just shot through this. So buyers are no longer strong here. So what does price need to do if it wants to buy again? It needs to come here and push off again. We have an invalidated structure. And now we are looking for either a lower high in the market. We were looking for a lower high in the market to sell it again, right? So now it's time for us to just be very patient, because now this is invalidated. Okay? So delete this and now wait. Look at what price does from here. Price is either going to what? Create a lower high, or it's going to reject and then clear this out. Because where is price still? Price is still right here. As far, or there are still traders sitting right here. Still traders sitting right here. Look at these equals right here. Look where the candle closes are. Right here. Candle closes right there. Candle closes right there. 2 equals. They're sitting right here. So traders are still in this market from this level right here. So let's just see what price does. Cool. Touch this area. Invalidated the support. All right. So now we are back in a seller's market. And now let's look for a correction. All right. We know that indication is done. We know that indication ended right here. So now we're going to see where price goes. And we're going to see what price does from there to see whether or not if it's going to give us another lower high and we can go sell this market back to point B, or if we're getting ready to go into a range so price can change trend again. All right, so we got our first lower high out of it. Now it's a matter of, again, just being patient. Let me look and see what happens. So we're getting higher lows established. Let's see if we can get, let's see if we're getting a lower high. If we get a lower high right here compared to this level, so put this here. So we have our lower high here. If price does not surpass this and gives us a lower high again off of a correction, then we're going to sell it all the way down to point B. Okay, that's what we're going to do. It could go all the way down again, and that's fine. I've already covered a video over that where that's not that big of a deal. Price is exhausted right here, so these make sense. If price is starting to become very wickish, right, and it's just having all these wicks and it's very jumbled and tight instead of these big long candles, right, then you understand price is exhausted. So the sellers are currently having the momentum. So we're going to see what price does right here, because there is a support at this level right here. So got one touch, two touch, breakthrough. So one touch, two touch, three touch. Now we have four. So we're going to see what price does right here. All right. Cool. Let's see if we get a higher low. Was a lower high. Get another lower high. That's low-key what I'm genuinely waiting on. I'm waiting on another lower high. Okay. We might not get it. All right. One more candle. Okay. One more candle. Let's see if we get an engulfment. All right. Okay, I like what I'm seeing. I like what I'm seeing. Let's get a quick sell, and we're going to get it to this lower high. And then, again, we're not going to be greedy. We're just going to have it right here to point B. We're going to see what price does from here, all right? All right, let's see if we can go 5 and 1. I want to see what's happening. But before we do that, what we got? All right, so now this is very interesting. This is at a very interesting level right here. I can either wait one more hour. And allow price to tell me on the 1 hour, yes, you are still in a downtrend, or I rush it and say, well, you know, everything else in small time frame. So again, right now I'm 4 and 1. I don't want to lose, so I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait again, and I'm gonna see what happens. If price goes past here, then boom, we know that we just dodged a bullet. We have equal highs. All right, this is very important. So since we have equal highs, price now has to basically sweep. Price has to sweep. It has to sweep this. So once price sweeps these equal highs, because again, traders are sitting up here, then we'll get in for a sell. Until then, I'm not getting in. Cool. Price just shot through this. I want an actual sweep. I'm looking for a certain candle. Cool. All right. So now we have these lows. All right. Now let's look at the 15-minute. Let's see what happened. Cool. Here. All right. We had another higher low established right here, and then price broke. So now the same process repeats itself. Let me just make sure that you guys see this real quick. Okay. So higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, equal low. All right. I'm going to mark that off. So I have my low right here. All right. And honestly, backtesting like this does help whenever you're in live markets, because it allows you to objectively look at where you're, like, see what you're looking at. It allows you to just genuinely, like, pause for a second, because while this is happening, this candle will basically be printing, right? This candle will be basically finishing itself off. So you have, kind of think of it as a timer to be able to make a decision. So we just saw price come here with equal highs basically twice, or 3 points here at this resistance. It keeps getting sent back and rejected. The last time that it got here was sent back. It got here again, sent back. It got here again, sent back. So now we're going to look for another push towards it. But I'm going to go down to the 5 minute to look at more refinement to find out whether or not if we're even going to get that. Cool. And then, hold on. Let me go to 1 hour real quick just so I can just finish my markup. Sorry if I'm bouncing all over the place for you. That sounded crazy. High or low. Cool. So now I have, on the smaller time scale, on smaller time frames, I have that higher low there, right? But now we have an official on the 1 hour, a higher low. So, and then we have trader strapped up here. So, now we have the support. So now we have this little range. Again, I'm looking for price to either break through again, and my trade will be wherever it is behind this down here. All right, so let's just see what takes place. All right. Oop. Nope, I want you. Thank you. All right. We already have a break of structure right here because, again, higher low, break. So now I'm looking for a lower high. And then once I get my lower high, I'll sell. And, whew, man. All right. So I didn't get what I wanted, but it's okay. All right, price did sell off at that point in time, so that's something that we have to just let go. It is what it is. We missed it, but I stuck to my rules, and that's the thing. I do not like losing. I'm just being honest. I don't like it. I enjoy it for what it is, but as a trader, I don't like losing, because who like losing money, right? So, you know, in this instance, it was just a mini correction. We missed the opportunity to catch a sell. Maybe if I would have went down to the 15 minute, or not the 5 minute, I would have been able to get a different refinement. So yeah, like I did get that lower high. And the trade would have been like right here, right? So, you know, that it is what it is, right? I got my lower high right here. Would have had my stop loss like back here, and then I would have won the trade and got the 5. It is what it is. I ain't tripping. It is what it is. I ain't tripping. But all right, now let's get to the 1 hour. See where price is in relation to what we're doing, and let's remove this Fibonacci real quick. All right, we have this higher low right here. So yeah, this is a valid trade. The next area that this could go is right here. It could, but we're gonna see what this price does ultimately, because that was the indication correction. Now we have another indication. You don't want to hop in the middle of this, because price could easily just be like, all right, well, I'm done, and then come back up here. So all right, so let's see if price is gonna push further. All right, and then also I'm gonna get rid of this. I'm gonna get rid of all of these, so therefore I can see clearly what it's doing. And then I'm gonna reset. All right. All right. Cool. So now we have a support being formed at this level. Yes, that is a lower high, by the way. All right, cool. Structure is now validated. We got higher highs being built, so now we're looking for a higher low. Cool. We got our first higher low right here on the 1 hour. Now let's go down to the 15. Rinse and repeat, bro. Rinse and repeat. That's all it is. I'm going to keep my zones for right now. They're still valid. All right, let's see if price invalidates structure again, because it's almost about to do it. It's a deep correction. All right, cool. We have that higher low. Now we're looking for a high to get established. Cool. So far, so good. So far, so good. All right. Up almost. This is still a higher low. Don't get it twisted. This is still a higher low. Okay. As soon as if it breaks it, then it breaks it. Still a higher low. All right, there we go. Second higher low established. This is where we are. So we had this here. Before we take our trade, what do? Right? So let's draw the fib. Cool. It was a 78% correction. Let's go to 1 hour. See where we are in correlation to what's going on. We have our first higher low right here. Now we have our second higher low right here. So we're looking pretty good. We're looking pretty good to take this trade for a buy. The buy will basically be all the way to point B where this area is. This gap has already gotten closed, right? Now I just has to go refill these gaps up here. So basically this is where our target will be. So we have a buy trade. It's right here. I'm going to put my stop loss back here. I'm going to put my target right here. And that will put me at a 1-to-1. Actually, let's go to 0. So it'll put me at basically a 1-to-2. And it was a 78% correction. So that gives us a good little indication that price may or may not actually go up to like this level right here. But we will basically do the same thing to where if it does that, then I have my first TP and then I have my second TP. So we're going to see what price does. Right now we have a higher low here, higher low here, higher low here, higher low here, and higher low here. So we have sequential higher lows letting us know that price is wanting to now do an uptrend. The only thing is that we have this lower high, right? But it was on a downtrend. We're going to see if price from these higher lows will go and eclipse this and then go up. So we're going to find out. We have enough room for a stop loss to kind of like give us some leg room. So we have enough. All right, let's see what happens. Let's take place. Let's go to the 1 hour. So we don't get through all the anticipation and shit because, you know. All right, let's see how it plays. All right, we got our ass kicked. Simple as that in the first round, nigga. Done. All right, so it goes back to what I was saying about this. You see how this candle came through and collected its money? That's all it really did. Simple as that. So we go 4 and 2. So what's something I can learn from that, because I won basically 2 trades in a row, is wait for that higher high to get established, right? So therefore I can know that, or let's get a higher low and then get another higher high. So therefore we can be able to actually get in there. So again, waiting for that second confirmation in case we're unsure. But I did take this trade with confidence, and that's fine. It came in, took out liquidity, and it's what it is. All right, so we lost. Cool. I still got 11 minutes, so let's see if we can get another trade in. We're gonna go from there. This was a higher low. Now this is a lower high. All right, and then price came to this support. So now we know that this is a valid support. So now that we can be able to get buys. We can get buys in this market, but it has to now push past this high. So this is our lower high right here. So now all I want for price to do to give me the validation that I'm looking for a buyer's market is pushing past this higher low and then going again. Other than that, it's all sells. Cool. All right. Let's look for this break and then a higher low or a lower high. Cool, we got the break. By the way, just real quick, this is why I stay so strict to my rules. Because if I have this right here, 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 breakout, right? Oh my God, price is falling. Say if I bought, I would have got stopped out again and I would have lost. That's why I wait for that break and then that lower high and then so that's why we always wait for that second confirmation. Traders are trapped up here and they're actually trapped up in an area that we're very familiar with, which is what? We're getting ready to go through a little range. Price actually broke out of that range. That's good. All right. And we actually got what we were looking for right here, but it was a higher high. It was a higher than this or equal high. I'm not gonna take that risk. So yeah. All right, cool. Let me get out of this 15-minute. Let's zoom. Let's zoom past this a little bit. So we got that lower high. Now we have a lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Cool. All right. All right. Let's see if we're getting ready to get it again. Oh, that sucks. All right, we're going to actually stop the video right here because I have to refresh the page.